feeling that I used to get was, because everybody around the area knew you were going for a trial, and when you come back and you say, how'd you get it? Then you don't get in, and they start saying, yeah, you're not good enough. And I used to get that a lot, so when that happened, I just said, that's me done.
Ian Wright, my good friend, great to see you.
Always good to see you, Steve, my
You
friend.
are an inspiration to many. This is a footballing journey that isn't usual, so let's go right back to the beginning.
Yeah.
As a boy kicking a ball around the street, playing on a Sunday league, what were your aspirations and dreams at that stage?
At the time, I just wanted to play with my brother. I just wanted to be good enough to play with my brother Morris, because when we were younger, he was really good. He left foot, right foot, and that's the thing, Steve. He used to tease me about everything that I couldn't do. My left foot, you're not tall enough, you can't head, you're not quick. So all I wanted to do at that stage, before I actually even started seeing football and watching football properly, was just to please my brother. And I remember I got to play when I was 8, just when I not long started playing. He was 10 at the time, and I ended up playing when I was in the second year. I played for the 4th years at Gordon Brook, and we both scored. But like, it was a goal. He scored a great goal in it with his left foot, and he teased me from then. And the only time he gave me credit for a goal was the one I scored against Everton at Arsenal. Every goal I scored, he said, it's not as good as mine against Fairlawn when we was 10. But then when I started watching football, Steve, I think it would have been probably, I think, the 1970 World Cup. I vaguely remember that, but it was the FA Cup final, Leeds, I think it was. And once I started seeing that, that was it. That was it. And I think that's why Wembley and the FA Cup means so much to me as well. But like, watching that game made me want to play football. I just wanted to play football on a big pitch.
Was there a point where you thought, I'm not going to play football for a living here, given the age you were and where you were at?
Yeah, yeah. I think from the in and around from 12 till 20, 21. Even the Palace, when the Palace came out of the blue. So with all the trials that I had, and I literally had trials wrote to everybody, all the London clubs I tried. Orient was the only one who really gave me a trial. Millwall, when I was 15, I went and trained with them at Lewisham Leisure Centre. Even when I did get to Palace, after all the rejections at district trials, London trials, no scout. I've never had a scout come up to me. Because even with the Millwall, I wrote to Millwall and then they said, yeah, we're just around the Leisure Centre. We're coming to have a look at you. No scout ever scouted me. And so it was something that for many years I was very bitter and twisted towards scouts, saying they don't do their jobs properly. Because I know for a fact there were better players than me in and around the Sunday League football I was playing and the football I was playing around London. There was a lot of players that was as good as me and better. So I was really quite, like I say, bitter towards them. When I was 19, I had a trial at Brighton, and it was amazing because I begged, stole and borrowed to get down to Brighton every day from Brockley, South East London, to Brighton on the train. And I used to go down there with Chris Ramsey, Perry Digweed and Dean Wilkins. And I thought I'd done well enough. They thought I'd done well enough to be signed, but they didn't sign me. I was on trial at the same time as an Irish guy they brought across from Ballymena, Stephen Penny, his name was. And I thought that they were going to sign us both. But when they didn't sign me then, Steve, that was it. That was it. I know you asked the question earlier on about making it, and did I ever doubt that I was going to make it? Yes, then. Because all the rejection up to that point was, okay, you just keep playing football. Because the main thing what I did, I never stopped playing Sunday and Saturday football. But when that happened, I genuinely, on the train back from that one, because I was there for 6 weeks, I genuinely thought, yeah, that's it. That dream's over. The feeling that I used to get was, because everybody around the area knew you were going for a trial, and when you come back and they say, how'd you get? Then you don't get in, and they start saying, yeah, he's not good. You're good enough when you're playing on a Sunday morning. Everybody's saying you're scoring 4 and 5 goals on a Sunday, but when you go to play with the professionals, you're not good enough. And I used to get that a lot. So when that happened, I just said, that's me done with trying to be a professional footballer. And I just carried on playing football. And the thing with what happened, Steve, is that I was scoring so frequently on a Sunday and a Saturday That and I was getting to finals, scoring in semi-finals, scoring the finals and that, and I was scoring easily. And it was, again, in my mind, I didn't think I was doing anything special because the players you're playing against are putting out cigarettes before they're playing and stuff like that. And you're going past fellas who are not in great shape. So I myself doubted myself in respects of how good I was. And so when Palace came, you know, Sean was free at the time, Bradley was just born, not long born, and so I had to I turned him down because I didn't want to go through another rejection of, you know, going, having the trial, doing well, and then not getting there. So it's just, I turned him down 3 times.
Wow.
You know, it was, at the time, I was adamant that I didn't want to do it. And it was a sliding doors moment with the boss I was working at Greenwich Borough with, because we never usually met. I tell the story of the time, we never usually met when I was working at Tunnel Refineries, because I was trying to always avoid him because I was skiving most of the time. Just finding places to go and hide and skive. They used to have a place in Tunnel Refineries where, you know, it was warm and it was lovely in there and it was freezing there some of the times. So what I used to do, Steve, I used to have to walk up this hill, and then people used to think, oh, he's always so busy. Look at him going up there with purpose. So I used to walk up there, do a bit of work for a while, then I used to walk back down with purpose, and I'd go and sleep in there for like an hour or so, and then come back and do stuff. So I always used to avoid him, and this particular day, we bumped into each other at the canteen, and he was talking about stuff. He said, how's the football? I said, yeah, it's fine. And he said, so what's happened with the Palace? Because I told him about the Palace trial and that, because we had another guy there who was a boxer. He's a really promising boxer. So we used to always talk about what we're doing at the time. And I told him there, I turned him down twice, and they asked me again, and he said, what are you doing? You might as well do it, simply because what's the worst thing that's going to happen? And I said to him, I told him all the story about the rejection. He said, it's got nothing to do with anything. You've got a chance of maybe being a footballer. What, don't you want to do it? I said, well, yeah. He said, well, go and have the trial. I'll keep the job for you for 2 weeks. It's not a problem. You're a good worker. and you know, so go and do it. So this was probably about the Wednesday or Thursday. So then I told my Sunday manager, Tony Davis, and then he sorted it out with Palace on the Friday. Then I had to go in on the Monday, and then that was it. I went in to Palace on the Monday, and then that's where it started.
And you were off and running. How do you reflect on the fun times that you had at Crystal Palace? Because
it was, I don't know, I had my friends Tony Finnegan, Andy Gray was there, and it just felt like playing professional football or just with your mates. It didn't feel pressured. You know, when I got there, there was a chance that they nearly went down the season before, but then there was Mickey Droy, Jim Cannon, and like I say, Alan Irvine, George Wood was there. So they had that experienced players with a couple of youngsters. Andy Gray went back into the midfield. I went up front with Trevor Aylott. And then the season after that, Mark Bright came. And it just felt like fun. It's when we got into the first division, it's that when it started to feel very serious. The players were a lot better. You know, it was a lot sharper. I think our first home game when we went up was against Man United, and it was a great Man United side of the 90s. Brian Robson was playing. I couldn't believe it. I was on the same pitch as Brian Robson. Everything kind of changed. And before at Palace, it felt like fun. It felt brilliant. You're with your friends. It was great. And then now it felt like serious business. And you had to go again because people were saying, well, can he do it at that level? I'm not sure will he be able to do it at that level, because they thought that my game was very off the cuff. You know, the link-up play, you know, they say it used to come off of me and all that sort of stuff. So those things you have to improve. So again, I got to a stage once we got into the first division where, you know, I was on trial again. Am I going to be good enough? Like what they do to all strikers coming up from the Championship. They asked them, well, can he do it at this level? So all I done was worked my socks off after having a great chat with Chris Waddle at the PFA. 2 hours he spent talking to me about what it takes to be a striker at first division level and international level and where you've just come from. And it was a conversation with Chris Waddle that changed my life. From where I come from, to be a champion of England, the Premier League, the dream couldn't materialise for me in my head because, like I say, up until 22, I didn't even think I was going to be playing football. To have a Premier League medal, it's the greatest thing in the world. Right, here we
It's
go.
the first one.
Glenn does really well. Look at him fly.
Yes,
Look
yeah.
at him fly.
Second point.
Just on the edge, Dennis, look.
And there's Bergkamp!
What you thinking now? Just control his strike.
I was hoping because I felt the guy in my back.
Yeah, that was the first. That was your first.
Bergkamp allowed to run and shoot and score!
But you can see that everybody, look, everybody's so happy, look.
Yeah, the crowd was unbelievable at the moment.
Gilberto, it comes to Flamini, Perez, Thierry Henry, it didn't take him long to have a say, the captain for the day fires Arsenal in front. Henry, he's looking for another one, top quality, top class. Top man. Reyes for Perez. And between them, they're pulling apart the goal. Thierry Henry is the man who finishes it off. Another high-quality Highbury hat-trick for this Arsenal legend.
So, Arsenal, you became their club record signing. How did that come about? Had you reached a point where you wanted to go and test yourself, or was that just out of the blue?
No, because remember, I was very close friends with David Rocastle in '89. They'd done what they did at Liverpool. And, you know, you start to feel like you want to win things. Remember, like, you know, scoring the goals was fine, but you want to have legacy. You want to be recognised. And so you start looking across and you see David Rocastle at Arsenal. I used to go and watch Arsenal, supported Arsenal when we were younger because David was there when we came off the same estate, and we all supported Arsenal on our estate and on our oak estate because he was there. And like, you're glancing over and you're seeing what they've done and you want that. But like, there's never any time where I was playing for Palace feeling like I want to leave. You know, I remember there was a time the season before we went up where I think there was people coming in, and Steve Coppell offered me a new contract and I signed it instantly. You know what I mean? And I remember Steve Coppell doing an interview not long ago saying that they really needed me to sign that, because if I left then it might have caused a massive problem for them going up and all that sort of stuff. But I had no qualms, no hesitations in signing it, because I genuinely believed that we was going to get into the first division and do well. And we did. We finished third, but it was a time where we weren't allowed in Europe when we finished third for Palace, the first when we went up there. So people saw what I was capable of doing. I scored the goal, so I proved that I was capable of being there. And when the Arsenal thing came, it like happened in a week. It wasn't like, oh, I'm ready to go now and this and that. I remember going in I think we played Villa or Oldham. I think it might have been Villa on the Saturday. On the Monday, Steve Coppell called me in, didn't know what was going on. When I went in, Peter Prentice said, Steve Coppell wants to see you. I thought, Jesus Christ, what's happened? And I went in and he said, we've accepted a bid, 2.5 million from Arsenal for you. And it literally was like, I was like that. I actually said to him, what happens now? Because I was going to go and buy my mum a television. Like, right. That's the first thing he said. He went like, you're going to have to go to the Wellington Hospital to think. I said, when? He said, now. So it was really weird, because then I'd literally gone to train like normal. So people hadn't even come in yet. I said, so, you know, probably come in. So I thought, oh my gosh, what do I do? Do I take my boots or what's it? So I didn't take the boots because I didn't want people to feel, well, where's he going? So I literally left there, went and met the agent, and then we went, and then it was a whole long day of this medical. There's nothing that they didn't do to me. There's nothing they didn't do, to the point where I was maybe it would have went quicker, Steve, if I wasn't messing about. Every time the doctor touched me,
I can't possibly believe that at all. I have no idea what you're talking about.
This is all new to me. So every time he touched me here, I was going, oh. I was doing. He touched me, I went, ow. And I didn't realise that it's serious business.
Well, they were breaking their club record for you.
I remember signing, and then I remember leaving and then going home. I remember telling Mark Bright, and then it started to break on the news and all that sort of stuff. And then all of a sudden, Steve, this is where, when you asked me about Palace and what was it like, and it was fun, it was really brilliant, and we felt like we were floating on air, we was all mates playing together. And you've gone to a club now who have been champions the last 3 years, like twice out of the last 3 years, and it's serious business. And I knew that I had to hit the ground running, and again, you feel like, oh God, I'm on trial again. And I'm very nervous about being on trial. You could feel the pressure, because if Arsenal lost, if we played badly, it was massive news, massive news and stuff like that. And even some of the altercations I got involved with, it was like pages from the back page all the way in. He's nutcase, he's this and that. I didn't realise what...
Was that difficult to deal with at the time?
Yeah, because it just happened out of the blue, because I was doing the same things what I'd done at Palace. But obviously people are not as interested, because you're not at a club of the stature of Arsenal, where now these things are embarrassing to maybe Arsenal, whereas Crystal Palace, you can soak that up. So I had to learn very quickly, and it was very tough, because I had to be how I am. I had to play how I play. And, a lot of people, like I say, once I started doing well at Arsenal, the column inches, and I found that a lot of the journalists, they wanted to keep the negativity going, the pantomime villain. I got booed at most grounds I went to. Always got booed, all the touches got booed, because that's how I played. I played in their face. And I found that, especially at the start, it was tough, because Arsenal's image and the way it was, and some of the column inches, some of the things that they were writing was, this is the reason why I can't understand this signing. He's an embarrassment to the club the way he is. It's a strange signing for Arsenal. They're not, and so, you're going away thinking, I'm doing well, but I don't feel like I'm doing well, because I'm getting so much negative press, and it feels negative all the time. And so I just simply blast through it, just try to be how I was, temper certain things down. But I found, Steve, when I kind of tried to play within myself and try not, weren't the same player.
You're leading scorer 6 years running. You came to break the goal-scoring record of Chris Bassett. Now, we've spoken about this story many times. Your maths weren't the best, and you had a bit of a dry run leading into the game against Bolton. I mean, tell us what that was like at the time, because everybody was talking about this club record.
I know. You know something? It was as you close down and you're getting into it. And there was a couple of games before that I should have done it. I should have done it against Spurs, because I missed 2 very good chances against Tottenham, and I think that I was more worried. I wasn't playing for the team then for some reason. You know what I mean? All I was thinking about was scoring to do the record. And not because I wanted a record so I could say, I've got the record. I wanted to get it out of the way. And what happened is that I wasn't playing in the same way. I was missing chances that I should have scored. But then I must have had it on for 5-6 games. And then, the Bolton game came around. The guys were teasing me, oh, you're wearing that again? It's a bit of a jinx. So I used to go and put it on when no one would see, and when no one would see, so I'd go and put it on, put my shirt on, and come back out. And obviously the Bolton game was. I didn't realise.
Do you not?
Didn't realise until afterwards. Until afterwards, you can hear murmuring. Then I thought to myself, hang on a minute, I've equalled it. I haven't actually broken it, right? So I thought, oh God. But like I didn't think about it like, oh my God, this is going to be embarrassing if I just carried on playing, because I thought, I was confused. I was confused, as everybody can see. But then, obviously, the second goal came where I did actually break it, where, was it Dennis? Somebody, I saw an interview where George Graham said, I wanted to buy the finished article when I bought Ian Wright. I wanted to buy the finished article. So I had to hear that, like, I don't know, 25, 30 years later, that George Graham saw me as the finished article. Somebody's going to take half chances, take those chances. And it was the biggest compliment I could ever get, because all I wanted to do, all my time at Arsenal, was impress George Graham. I loved him. We had massive, massive rows. But I absolutely adored him, because I knew that he had faith in me, and he never let me rest. I never ever felt like I was oh yeah, I'm there, I've done it. Under George Graham, never felt like that. To be fair, Arsene Wenger's a different style manager, but George Graham made me feel like every week you have to go again. So that's how I played. Every week I had to go again. So, you know, when I finally done the record, all those things were coming back to me. But at the same time, Steve, I still hadn't won the league yet.
Exactly, and we've had many conversations about this. This trophy. Now, you did get your hands on it, and I know that meant an awful lot to you that day. So talk us through that day and your emotions.
Like I say, when I went to Arsenal, I thought I would have won the league a few more times with the team we had, with the players we had, but we had some fallow years where we were winning cups and stuff, turned into a cup team, Cup Winners' Cup, FA Cup, but we weren't nowhere near the league. And this team, when Wenger came with Dennis and everything, what happened, Overmars and Nicholas and Patrick and everything, Manu Petit, I remember going out at the start, maybe the start of the season, and I remember looking back at Dennis, I said, Dennis, we could do this year. And so for us to go into that final game against Everton, a team that we beat all the time, knowing that to win it, we've won the league, it was really strange driving to the ground, because like I've always wished of going to a game where you're winning, you've won the league. The fans were amazing on Avenel Road, couldn't properly get down the road. You know, when you come out the car park, it was like all noise and everything. Like going to the dressing room, it was like really, it was buoyant, and the vibe and everything. And I was thinking, oh my God. But I was still thinking, we haven't won it yet. We still got to beat Everton. When I came on, knowing that you're coming on and you're a champion was, you know, it was amazing. It was amazing feeling. So I'm just on there, just to be on there with the fans, with the lads. And then Tony goes through and scores that goal. And I remember seeing it afterwards and seeing Tony's celebration, which is the statue now, which is arguably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Witnessing Tony's journey from the time I've been there, what he'd been through, beautiful, it was poetic. And when the whistle went and we'd done it, I felt emotional. But for some reason, it was fine. I didn't cry because we finished the game. We went round the pitch and then we had to go in the dressing room because I had to come out and do all the stuff. And then you come back out, and I just remember watching Tony lift it, then we pass it down. And when I got it, and where I come from, to be a champion of England, the Premier League the dream couldn't materialise for me in my head, because like I say, up until 22, I didn't even think I was going to be playing football. So to have a Premier League medal, be a champion, and now being able to be a champion, you know what I mean? It's the greatest thing in the world for me.
It's such an inspirational story. And to this day, we can feel your passion of what Arsenal Football Club means to you.
Yeah. It's changed my life, the club. And, you know, it's unfortunate because Crystal Palace fans, they see me constantly on about Arsenal and talking about Arsenal simply because of the global effect that Arsenal have around the world. The fact that they see me constantly talking about Arsenal, they feel that I don't have love for Crystal Palace, which is, like I say, it's the love of my life. Arsenal, obviously, you know, is a club that I supported, like I say, from early 80s because of David Rocastle. It's funny because David Rocastle supported Crystal Palace. So it's really strange. But I feel for them because they feel like my love for Arsenal is more than theirs. But my love for Crystal Palace is something for the Crystal Palace fans that still give me love and my love for them is undying, and it supersedes anything. The fans around the world that know me know what Arsenal mean to me, and they see what it means to me when Arsenal win and when Arsenal lose. You know, I can't help those emotions. I still look for Crystal Palace's results, and when Crystal Palace are not doing well, I'm still as devastated because I've still got my same Crystal Palace people that I know and love. But like for me, Arsenal and the way that they're in the public eye, are constantly talking about them, that can jar Palace fans. But at the same time, they've got to understand what Crystal Palace mean. But Arsenal, like I say, it changed my life. Had I not gone to Arsenal, and had I left at the time when Bruce Rioch came, and in the worst season of my life, I probably wouldn't have had my hands on that. So, you know, the way the club stuck by me in that time, and I'll never forget it. That's why the club means so much to me. That's why I love it so much.
And just finally, I mean, we see so many players finish and then struggle to fill the void, and we can see what football means to you as well. You've thrown yourself into a brand new career. You're so busy. You've now established yourself as one of the best pundits around. We enjoy your company extensively, obviously. How important is that to still be so involved in the game that means so much to you?
I need it, Steve. You know, when I was younger, unfortunately, I didn't pay as much attention at school as I should have, and it's not because I didn't have the capability, it's because all I wanted to do is play football. So to be able to end up playing football, and then you're able to then speak about football. So you have a football as a career, then you have football punditry as a career on after football. So you're still in football, still talking football, still go to the great venues, still go to the biggest games in the world. I've pundited on the World Cup final, I've pundited on everything, Champions League finals. To be able to do that is the dream. The dream is never ending. You know, and what's good about being able to speak about football, the game I love so much, is that every single game is different to the next. You can find something out of it. So my joy is trying to find the insight and give it from the point of view of somebody who's played it at the level, knowing what the player's going through, what's happening, and try to impart that on people that don't know. And I get a genuine buzz out of doing that. And it's why that I feel very fortunate to be able to be in it as a football pundit. That's why I make sure that I do the work, making sure that I'm giving the insight, so as people don't say, well, it's a pundit who's not prepared, you know, because I love it too much to go out like that. So I feel very fortunate. I can't even lie. Fortunate the way I got in, fortunate the way it went for me, and then, you know, worked hard to stay there, and fortunate the way that I've built a career in punditry afterwards. And, you know, honestly, I can't tell you how happy I am being able to do it. I love it.
Well, we love it. I know the viewers love it, and we look forward to more. And thanks for sharing your journey.
I love you, man.
Top man.
Nice one.